Welcome back, dear viewers, and you are still watching the Breakfast Show. And in this segment of our program, we will talk about the role of Egyptian women in October War 1973. And we are joined over the phone by Dr. Maha Mahgoub, human development expert. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Dr. Maha, let's start by the role played by women in October War 1973.
Women play a crucial role in managing crisis, especially during the War of 1973,
Yes.
and managing their serious consequences both in family and societies. In the first place, women are often on the front lines as they make up approximately 70% of the world health and social care workers.
Yes.
Women during the war, women and girls are an invisible force in front face of crisis. And women ability to reduce disasters, make decisions, and manage crisis, whether a housewife or prime minister. And of course, it's not only, for example, during the war of 1973, but for example, from the near future, that women played a crucial role in maintaining public health during the corona pandemic,
Yes.
which required that government adopt strategies to ensure women participation more badly and effectively in addressing the challenges ahead.
Yes. So, Dr. Maha, also, could you tell us more on the role of women organizations and NGOs before and during the war?
Yes. The NGOs plays, as well, of course, the civil society plays an important role during and after the war. So the role of women organizations and NGOs have become among the most important pillars on which the Egyptian state is beating in achieving this development because of their communication with various groups. The effectiveness of organizations work to support the step before and during the war to complement its role and advancement of society. Women organizations have major role through which they can participate with the state organization side by side in peace and war, and they can contribute to achieving a sustainable development of Egypt.
So, tell us more about the voluntary work of Egyptian women during the October War, notably in hospitals.
Women volunteered during the war, especially in hospitals, and they sit side by side beside the army, and of course the most prominent sign nursing was the main involvement by women in the conflict, and young single women flocked to the volunteer in hospitals during the 1973 war. Women committee in commercial professional syndicates of around 60,000 members to participate in the work and help various ways in the October War. The first step was collecting donations, then adopting and caring for families of soldiers, and financially supporting financially and socially. During the October War, female workers donated their monthly wages and to the war effort, and the women did not rest to absent the work to energize and productivity to become a high member in the society.
So, Dr. Ma, how do you see the status of Egyptian women 50 years after October War victory?
Yes, of course. Well, now we are so proud after 50 years about the great achievement during the war of 1973. The huge achievement. It was really a miracle for for Egypt, just to get rid of our enemy, and the whole world, not the whole world, the whole Egyptian people. They were a good asset and a good element in achieving our victory during and after the war of 1973.
So, Dr. Maha, also art is one of Egypt's soft power tools. How did it play a role before and during the war?
Yes, we can call about the art soft power in terms of giving the art and artists because of their ability to bring about changes in society through the artistic work. But this soft power also has an impact when it joins society and plays a humanitarian role on the ground. This is what Egypt witnessed during many situations, most noted by that during and after the October War, among of ranked the fighters, and there were many artists, including actors, both writers, and among the support ranks, there were many female artists who supported the injured and their families and volunteered to the nurse. For example, the artist Sahaya Karyuka was among the artists who volunteered as nurse during the war, and she earned a little of war fighter as she was known of her bloodness and courage. As well, Nadia Lotfi, she was one of the most prominent artists who volunteered to help Egyptian army men in the war, and she was always present on the front help of the injured.
So, Dr. Ma, how do you see the importance of women's role in times of crises in general?
Yes, of course, the role of women in time of crisis is very important. She is the mother, and she is the mother, and she is the house, the work. She's working, and she is assisting the state, and she's playing an important role. So the Egyptian woman, the peacemaker, stands and her state and her army in the war against terrorism, and she is fighting, she is volunteering, and she is working side by side with other institutions, NGOs, private sector, and so on.
So, Dr. Maha, also now, how can the government improve the status of women nowadays?
It's worth to mention that the Egyptian government supported Egyptian women during the last years in all aspects, political, economic, social, and she holded huge positions, and the government, aside with the NGOs and local NGOs and the international NGOs, supported and empowered women. For example, economically empowered in establishing her own projects, political. She holds huge, high positions, ministers, parliament members. She played an important role because the state recognized the important role of Egyptian women, and therefore they empowered the Egyptian women in all sides.
So how does this war and victory convey a message of pride to every mother who sacrificed her son for this country?
Yes, of course, the women sacrificed during the war and any crisis, and of course we can send a huge message about the Egyptian woman in pacemakers and stands by her state and of course her society with determination that does not know fear or does not suffer from sadness. The Egyptian woman is responsible for protecting Egyptian national security. She is responsible for raising new generations on the value of tolerance, love to the homeland, and the acceptance of others. She is one who instills love and of the homeland and sacrificing one sold over in that time. And of course, she can plant the love of country inside her sons and daughters. Egyptian women have a pure and sincere sense of prioritization, which sense and seriousness of the challenges facing Egyptian in this moment and its history. Egyptian women are the most affected by consequence of any bad events happen to Egypt. Therefore, she has to be in the first line to protect the country, her family, and the country.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Maha Mahgoub, Human Development Expert. Thank you, Dr. Maha, for being with us. And now half a century separates us from the victorious October War, an event that revealed the brilliance of the Egyptian genius when it stood at the threshold of a pivotal moment in history. More details in this report.
Half a century separates